Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the star of our show, Terry.
Hey there, music lovers. Welcome to The Music and Me, the podcast where we dive deep into the tunes that make our hearts sing and our feet dance. I'm your host, Terry, and today we're stepping into the fabulously pink world of Mean Girls. Yes, not just the iconic movie that taught us the dangers of wearing sweatpants on Mondays, but its incredible transformation into a Broadway sensation. Mean Girls is one of my all-time favorite movies. I mean, who doesn't love the plastics? And guess what? I recently watched the movie musical version, and let me tell you, it's like the movie, but with jazz hands and high notes. Even though I haven't seen the Broadway version in person, sad face, I'm absolutely obsessed with the cast recording. From the backstabbing halls of North Shore High to the glitzy lights of Broadway, I'm about to spill the tea on Mean Girls the musical. We'll celebrate the fetchest songs and the most iconic characters. So grab your burn book, throw on some pink, because on Wednesdays, we wear pink and we podcast. And get ready to join the plastics on this wild musical ride. All right, everybody, let's get started. I am so excited about this episode because I love Mean Girls, as I mentioned. Let's rewind to 2004 when low-rise jeans were all the rage and Lindsay Lohan ruled the teen cinema world. Enter Mean Girls, a movie that's not just a film, but a cultural phenomenon. Picture this. Katie Heron, a sweet, naive teenager fresh from Africa, navigating her way through the treacherous jungle of an American high school. Yikes. She meets the Plastics, a trio of popular girls led by the fabulously tyrannical Regina George. What follows is a roller coaster of backstabbing, burn books, and more drama than a soap opera. Mean Girls didn't just entertain, it infiltrated our vocabulary and wardrobes with iconic phrases like, "You can't sit with us." And on Wednesdays, we wear pink. And let's not forget the quotable gold like Damien's, "She doesn't even go here." And Karen's, "I'm a mouse, duh." Released on April 30th, 2004, this Tina Fey penned masterpiece grossed over $130 million worldwide, proving that high school drama sells. Here's a fun fact. Lindsay Lohan originally auditioned for Regina George, but thank goodness the producers saw Rachel McAdams as the perfect queen bee. And who could forget the awkwardly fabulous Jingle Bell Rock dance scene? Mean Girls isn't just a movie. It's a rite of passage, a film that never loses its charm, whether you're watching it for the first time or the 50th. It's so fetch. All right, now let's move on to how this iconic movie made its way from the screen to the Broadway stage. Get ready to dive into the glittering musical world of Mean Girls the Musical and discover how it all came together. So, how did Mean Girls make the leap from the big screen to the Broadway lights of Broadway? Let's break it down in the most fetch way possible. The mastermind behind this magical transition is none other than Tina Fey. Yes, the same Tina Fey who wrote the movie and graced us as Ms. Norbury. Tina took on the Herculean task of adapting her sharp, witty screenplay into a book for the musical. And who better to do it than the Queen of Comedy herself? But Tina didn't do it alone. Enter Jeff Richmond, Tina's multi-talented husband who composed the music. Talk about a power couple. Jeff's tunes are catchy, hilarious, and perfectly capture the spirit of Mean Girls. Then we have the fabulous Nell Benjamin, who penned the lyrics. You might know her from Legally Blonde, the musical, so she knows a thing or two about turning beloved movies into Broadway hits. Next up, Casey Nicholaw, the director and choreographer extraordinaire. This guy is Broadway royalty, with hits like The Book of Mormon and Aladdin under his belt. And I saw Aladdin, and choreography, awesome. With Casey at the helm, you know the show's going to be a high-energy, toe-tapping spectacle. Mean Girls the Musical made its Broadway debut on April 8th, 2018 at the August Wilson Theater. The anticipation was real, and the initial reception, pure magic. Critics and fans alike were smitten, praising the show for its clever adaptation, dazzling performances, and infectious music. At the 2018 Tony Awards, Mean Girls scored 12 nominations, including Best Musical, Best Book of a Musical for Tina Fey, and Best Original Score for Richmond and Benjamin. While it didn't sweep the awards, the nominations alone cemented its status as a Broadway darling. But wait, there's more. Just when we thought Mean Girls couldn't get any better, it was announced that a movie musical version was in the works. That's right, the Plastics took their drama and sass from the stage back to the silver screen. This adaptation brought the magic of Broadway to audiences everywhere, including those of us who couldn't make it to New York to see the live show, like me. Now, as I said before, I couldn't see the actual musical on Broadway, but thanks to the movie musical version, I got a chance to experience it in all its glory. Sure, a lot of songs were cut out and some things were different from the Broadway version, but I absolutely enjoyed it despite the reviews, which most of the time I don't agree with those anyway. It was like getting a front row seat to the Broadway show from the comfort of my couch. And let's be real, any chance to see Regina George rule the school is a win in my book. As for the audience reception, the movie musical was met with a mix of nostalgia and excitement. Fans of the original film and the Broadway show were thrilled to see their favorite characters and songs brought to life once again. While some diehard fans missed the full Broadway experience, most appreciated the fresh take and the opportunity to see Mean Girls in a new light. So there you have it, the glittering journey of Mean Girls from screen to stage and back to screen again. It's a testament to the power of great storytelling, talented creators, and of course, the undying appeal of high school drama. Okay, plastics and non-plastics alike, let's talk about the heartbeat of Mean Girls the Musical, the soundtrack. If the movie gave us iconic one-liners, the musical cranks it up to an 11 with a soundtrack that's a mix of hilarious, heartfelt, and downright catchy tunes. Picture this. You're walking down the halls of North Shore High, but instead of petty whispers, you're surrounded by epic musical numbers that make even Regina George's tantrums sound fabulous. The soundtrack is the perfect blend of pop, rock, and musical theater, with lyrics that'll have you laughing out loud and maybe even shedding a tear or two. From the moment you press play, you're hit with a whirlwind of emotions and beats. There are songs that capture the sass and snark of high school drama, like Apex Predator and Revenge Party, where the melodies are as sharp as Regina George's comebacks. Then there are the empowering anthems like Fearless and I'd Rather Be Me, which makes you want to stand up and declare your independence from the high school hierarchy. Let's not forget the hilariously relatable tunes like Where Do You Belong that break down the cafeteria cliques in a way that only Mean Girls can. The beauty of this soundtrack is how it seamlessly transitions between laugh-out-loud humor and genuinely touching moments. One minute, you're cackling at Damien and Janice's antics. The next, you're moved by Katie's journey of self-discovery. It's a roller coaster of emotions set to a backdrop of fantastic music. Now, I want to spill the tea on my favorite songs from the show and why they've earned a spot on my playlist. These are those tunes that stand out to me and the ones that I can't help but play on repeat. Get ready to jam out and maybe even find your new favorite musical number. But first, here's my interesting fact. Welcome to my interesting fact segment. Let's talk about one of the most iconic and fabulously fetched traditions to come out of Mean Girls. On Wednesdays, we wear pink. Yes, this phrase, famously uttered by Karen, has transcended the movie to become a full-blown cultural phenomenon. Every Wednesday, fans around the world don their finest pink attire in honor of their favorite high school clique. It's like an unofficial holiday that brings out everyone's inner plastic. But here's the best part. It's not just about the clothes. It's a whole vibe. People strut around with the confidence of Regina George, the quirkiness of Karen, and the relentless enthusiasm of Gretchen. Office spaces, classrooms, and even Zoom meetings are suddenly awash in pink hues. Social media lights up with hashtags like hashtag Pink Wednesday and hashtag Mean Girls Day as fans share their outfits and favorite quotes. It's like a glittery pink parade of solidarity. And let's be honest, wearing pink on Wednesdays is more than just a nod to the movie. It's an excuse to channel your inner diva and have a little fun. You might even find yourself quoting more lines from the movie throughout the day. You go, Glen Coco, becomes your new motivational mantra. And that's why her hair is so big. It's full of secrets, turns into your go-to compliment. So grab your pink shirt, your pink accessories, maybe even your pink shoes, and join the fun. Because on Wednesdays, we wear pink, and we make the world a little bit more fabulous, one sassy quote at a time. And now, back to our episode. Welcome back, everybody. Let's talk about my favorite songs now. Let's kick it off with the very first song of the show, A Cautionary Tale. If you're not already hooked by the time the opening notes hit, just wait. This song sets the stage for all the fabulousness that follows. Sung by two of my favorite characters, Janice and Damien, it's a hilarious, tongue-in-cheek introduction into the wild world of North Shore High. Picture this. The curtain rises, and Janice and Damien, our lovable narrators, step forward to give us a friendly warning. Think of it as the musical equivalent of those old-school public service announcements, but with way more sass and a catchy tune. They're basically telling us, hey, buckle up, because you're about to witness a cautionary tale of epic high school drama proportions. For instance, when Janice sings about North Shore High, she dramatically states, a cautionary tale, a warning that we offer to all. Don't be fooled by the golden rule, because the queen is keeping score. And let's not forget my absolute favorite part. Janice says, where people died, to which Damien hilariously responds, no one died. The comedic timing is perfect and never fails to crack me up. A Cautionary Tale does a brilliant job of setting the tone for the musical. It's upbeat, it's cheeky, and it's filled with the kind of humor that makes Mean Girls so beloved. It also gives you a quick rundown of the perils of high school life, warning you about the traps of popularity and the pitfalls of trying to fit in. I love this song because it starts off the show by telling you what it's all about, essentially. It's a warning about what not to do. Plus, having it sung by Janice and Damien just makes it all the more special. Their chemistry is off the charts, and their delivery is spot on. A Cautionary Tale perfectly sets the stage for the chaos and comedy that follows, making it a fantastic opening number. All right, now that we've kicked things off with a bang, let's move on to some of my other favorite songs from the show. Next up, we have the hilariously relatable song, Where Do You Belong? This gem is another Damien and Janice special. And if you've ever wondered where you fit in the high school hierarchy, this song is for you. I know we all have wondered where we belong. The scene is set in the cafeteria, the ultimate battlefield of high school social dynamics. Damien and Janice take Katie under their wing and guide her through the intricate and often absurd map of cliques. The lyrics are pure comedy gold, as they break down the various groups with razor-sharp wit and humor. From the jocks to the nerds, and of course, the plastics. No clique is spared from their playful scrutiny. For example, they sing freshmen, ROTC guys, preps, JV jocks, Asian nerds, cool Asians, varsity jocks, unfriendly black hotties, ... The list goes on, and it's both spot on and ridiculously funny. The way they categorize everyone is a riot, and the catchy tune will have you humming along for days. I love this song because it's all about figuring out where you belong in the wild jungle of high school, something that we've all been through. It's a musical map to the minefield of teenage social life, and it's delivered with such charm and humor that you can't help but smile. The part that really resonates with me is the conclusion of the song, where Katie decides she just wants to be friends with Janice and Damien, who proudly declare that they are not joiners, which I have a lot in common. I'm not really a joiner. Like, I'll be friends with everyone, but, I'm more of a loner. Katie's choice is both heartwarming and relatable. She decides to hang out with the people who don't fit into any specific group, which I totally get. I've never felt like I belong to a particular clique, and honestly, I still feel that way. So, Katie's decision to stick with the non joiners is one I would have made too. Where Do You Belong perfectly captures the awkward yet universal experience of trying to find your place in high school. It's funny, it's catchy, and it's a reminder that sometimes the best place to be is with the people who accept you just as you are, outside of any predefined group. All right, now that we've navigated the cafeteria cliques, let's talk about some more of the songs that I love. Next up on our musical journey is Apex Predator, and let me tell you, this song is an absolute banger. It's the moment when Katie starts to realize that Regina George isn't just the queen bee, she's the apex predator of the high school jungle. Janice steps in with a hilariously sharp and clever warning, painting a vivid picture of Regina as the ultimate hunter who's always on the prowl. The lyrics are pure gold, with Janice using jungle imagery to describe Regina's predatory nature. She sings about how Regina snarls and growls, and it's both hilarious and spot on. You can practically see the hallways of North Shore High transforming into a wild savanna, with Regina stalking her prey. The beat of the song is so catchy you can't help but want to strut down the hallway like a plastic, even if you're just walking to your fridge. I love the song because it's Janice giving Katie the 411 on Regina's true nature. It's like she's saying, don't be fooled by the nice act. Regina is not as sweet as she pretends to be, and she will hurt you in the end. Trust me, you cannot trust her. Janice delivers this message with such wit and sass that you can't help but laugh, even as you're nodding along in agreement. One of my favorite lines is when Janice sings, she's the queen of beasts at this beastly school, gotta keep things cool, don't be such a fool. It's a hilarious description of Regina wrapped up in a warning that's as entertaining as it is insightful. Apex Predator perfectly captures the essence of high school power dynamics, with Regina at the top of the food chain. It's funny, it's fierce, and it's a stark reminder that in the high school jungle, it's eat or be eaten. This song not only sets the tone for Regina's character, but also gives us one of the most entertaining and memorable numbers in the show. Now that we've survived the wild with Apex Predator, let's talk about some more. Another one of my favorite songs from Mean Girls is I See Stars. This song is all about recognizing that everyone shines in their own unique way, bringing a sense of unity and acceptance to the end of the show. It's the final number in the show. It's a beautiful and uplifting anthem that celebrates individuality and the idea that we all have something special to offer. The melody is gorgeous, and the lyrics perfectly capture the journey of the characters as they come together, realizing that they don't need to fit into any one mold to be valued and loved. I See Stars concludes the musical on a high note, leaving the audience with a warm, hopeful feeling and a reminder that we all have the potential to be stars in our own lives. Okay, now we're on to my top 2 favorite songs of the show. It's time to dive into one of the most electrifying songs of the musical, Revenge Party. This one is pure, unadulterated fun. Picture Janice and Damien plotting Regina's downfall with the kind of enthusiasm you usually reserve for planning an epic surprise party. Only this time, the surprise is on Regina, and it's not exactly the fun kind. Revenge Party is the ultimate scheming anthem. The energy is electric, the lyrics are sharp, and the whole idea of throwing a party specifically to get back at someone is both ridiculous and brilliant. I mean, come on. Who wouldn't want to be a part of a revenge party? It's like living out your wildest high school fantasies of sweet, sweet retribution. In the musical, Janice and Damien are rallying everyone to take down Regina, and the result is a song that's as catchy as it is cunning, with lines like, "It's a revenge party, a party that ends with somebody's head on a spike." Mhm. I love that line. You can't help but get caught up in the excitement. The song turns revenge into a group activity, and you can practically feel the camaraderie as they plot Regina's ultimate humiliation. Now, I love this song for a very personal reason because every time I hear a revenge party, I think about my friends at work. We've always got each other's backs no matter what. If a mean customer tries to ruin our day or something tough is happening in our lives, we all stand together. It's like our own little support system. And this song reminds me of how important it is to have those people who will fight for you and with you. In the musical, Revenge Party is all about getting back at Regina and making her pay for all the meanness she's dished out. Who doesn't want to get a little bit of a revenge on the people who've hurt us? It's a universal fantasy, turning the tables and watching the mighty fall. This song captures that feeling perfectly, making it not just entertaining, but also incredibly relatable. Revenge Party is my second favorite song in the musical, and it's not hard to see why. It's got everything: humor, energy, and a touch of delicious vindictiveness. So, let's raise our metaphorical glasses and toast to the idea of a revenge party, because sometimes it feels good to imagine a little payback on those who've wronged us. All right, now that we've had our revenge fix, let's move on to the final song I will be talking about. My number one favorite song of the show is I'd Rather Be Me. This song is the anthem of all anthems, and I listen to it on repeat. Janice is my hero. This song is her ultimate declaration of defiance and individuality, and it's everything you want in a rebel yell. I'd Rather Be Me is powerful, punk rock, and bursting with attitude. The lyrics are all about being yourself and not letting the plastics or anyone else bring you down. Janice sings about embracing who you are and standing up to those who try to tear you down. It's an empowering mic drop moment that leaves you feeling invincible. One of the reasons I love this song so much is because it's all about not letting other people get to you. I would rather be me than be around people who treat me like crap, and this song captures the sentiment perfectly. Janice's fierce independence and refusal to conform are so inspiring. And can we talk about the hidden gesture in the lyrics? Raising your right finger is your middle finger. So it's basically telling you to flip off everyone who doesn't treat you right. And that is hilarious. It's a clever, cheeky way to say, I'm done with your nonsense. And I love that. This song is also special to me because it's sung by my favorite character, Janice. Her voice and attitude make the song even more impactful. And every time I hear I'd Rather Be Me, I feel a surge of confidence and a reminder that it's okay to stand up for myself and be true to who I am. I'd Rather Be Me is the perfect blend of empowerment, rebellion, and humor. It's the kind of song that makes you want to stand up, shout out, and be unapologetically yourself. So, here's to Janice and her incredible anthem of self-acceptance and defiance. You know, I love so many songs from Mean Girls the Musical, but the ones I just talked about are my absolute favorites. Each one of them has a special place in my heart for different reasons, whether it's the humor, the energy, or the powerful messages they convey. You might notice that I didn't include World Burn in this episode because I already covered that one in my Broadway Villains episode. So if you haven't listened to that one yet, it was a blast where I discussed some of my favorite Broadway villain songs. Be sure to check that one out, and I'll include the link in the show notes for you. All right, now that we've jammed out to my favorite songs from Mean Girls the Musical, it's time to talk about the fabulous characters who bring this story to life. From the halls of North Shore High to the bright lights of Broadway, these characters are the heart and soul of the show. Okay, let's dive into my absolute favorite characters from the musical and why I adore them so much. As I mentioned earlier, Janice is my hero. She's the ultimate rebel with a cause, fighting against the toxic high school culture and staying true to herself. I love her sharp wit, her loyalty to her friends, and her defiant attitude. She's the one I would be friends with for sure. In the musical, Janice is even more dynamic than in the movie, with powerful songs like I'd Rather Be Me showcasing her fierce independence, which, we just discussed I'd Rather Be Me. It's my favorite song. She's a character who stands up for what she believes in, and that's incredibly inspiring. Some of her best quotes from the movie are, "Oh, I love seeing teachers outside of school. It's like seeing a dog walk on its hind legs." Hilarious. And another one of my favorites by her is, "You smell like a baby prostitute." All right, Damien is another one of my favorites. He's the kind of friend everyone wishes they had. Funny, supportive, and always ready to break into song. He sounds kind of like me, only I don't normally break into song, but I do make everyone laugh. Damien's comedic timing is impeccable, and his friendship with Janice is one of the highlights of the show. His musical number, Where Do You Belong, is both hilarious and heartwarming, capturing the essence of high school life in a way that only Damien can. Some of his best lines that you may know from the movie is, "She doesn't even go here." And another one that I like from him is, "Four for you, Glen Coco. You go, Glen Coco." When they were passing out the candy canes. Funny. Damien is hilarious. I love him. And like I said, he reminds me kind of me, only I don't break into song, but I do make people laugh. Next, we have Gretchen Wieners, the girl whose hair is so big because it's full of secrets. Gretchen is my favorite plastic because she's more than just a sidekick to Regina. She's insecure and desperate for approval, which makes her incredibly relatable, especially to me because I'm often insecure and desperate for approval. So I always connected most with Gretchen. In the musical, Gretchen's character is explored in more depth, and we see her struggles and vulnerabilities. She has a song called What's Wrong With Me, and it's a touching and funny look into her psyche, making her one of the most endearing characters in the show. Some of her favorite lines, of course, is, "That is so fetch." And another one is, "Ex-boyfriends are just off limits to friends." That's just like the rules of feminism. And I apologize because I'm not an actor. Next, Karen Smith, the lovable but dim-witted member of the Plastics, is the quintessential comedic relief. With her innocent and goofy nature, Karen might not be the brightest crayon in the box, but she's got a heart of gold and a knack for delivering some of the funniest lines in the show. Whether she's confidently predicting the weather with her boob-based barometer or just being adorably clueless. Karen's charm and unintentional humor make her an endearing and unforgettable part of the Mean Girls ensemble. I like when Damien and Janice are introducing her to Katie at the beginning, and they're like, "That's Karen. She's the dumbest person you'll ever meet," or something like that. Some of her best lines are, "It's like I have ESPN or something," as she's referring to her boob-based barometer for predicting the weather. And, of course, the most iconic line from Mean Girls, "On Wednesdays, we wear pink," which, by the way, I am wearing pink. And, of course, we can't forget about Regina George. Regina George is the quintessential villain, but she's more than just the bad guy. She's the queen bee who rules North Shore High with an iron fist or a perfectly manicured hand. Regina is cunning, manipulative, and absolutely magnetic. Her song, World Burn, is a powerhouse performance that showcases her ruthless ambition and unrelenting desire to stay on top. Regina's presence looms large over the entire story, making her one of the most compelling characters in the musical. Plus, who doesn't love a good villain? Regina's schemes and manipulations make the story all the more exciting. Some of her best quotes are, "Get in, loser, we're going shopping." And, "Gretchen, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen." I have used fetch a lot in this episode now. All right, last but not least, there's Katie Heron. Katie's journey from naive newcomer to queen bee and back to finding her true self is the core of the story. I love how the musical delves deeper into her internal conflict and growth. Katie's transformation is both entertaining and thought-provoking, and her songs like Stupid with Love and Fearless perfectly capture her evolution. Watching her navigate the ups and downs of high school and ultimately learn to be herself is incredibly satisfying. Now, truth, Katie is not my favorite character of the show, even though she's like the main character of the show besides Regina. My favorite character, of course, is Janice, but some of Katie's best lines are, "On October 3rd, he asked me what day it was." And during the mathlete competition, "The limit does not exist." And then there's, "I'm new, I just moved here from Africa." All right, so those are some of my favorite characters from Mean Girls the Musical. Each one of them brings something unique and special to the story, making it a rich and engaging experience. Mean Girls the Musical has taken the already iconic Mean Girls legacy and elevated it to a whole new level. Since its Broadway debut, the musical has been celebrated by fans and critics alike for its sharp wit, catchy songs, and brilliant adaptation of the original movie. The Plastics have strutted off the screen and onto the stage, bringing their infamous burn book and high school drama with them. The musical has introduced a new generation to the story, ensuring that Mean Girls continues to be a cultural phenomenon. From quotable lines to unforgettable songs, it has cemented itself as a staple in both the theater and pop culture worlds. Plus, who can resist the lure of fetch finally happening on Broadway? Mean Girls has been a huge part of my life since I first saw the movie. It's one of my all-time favorite films, and it's safe to say I know most of it by heart. When I heard it was being turned into a musical, I was beyond excited. The movie musical version gave me a chance to experience it in a new way. Some of the songs were cut, and there were some changes, but I still loved it. The story of Katie navigating the treacherous waters of high school cliques and ultimately finding her true friends resonated with me. Just like Katie, I never felt like I belonged to a specific group in high school, and I still feel that way. Mean Girls the Musical captures the universal struggle with humor and heart, and it's something that I'll always cherish. From Janice's rebellious spirit in I'd Rather Be Me to the hilariously spot-on cafeteria breakdown in Where Do You Belong, the musical hits all the right notes. It's not just a show, it's a reminder that we don't have to fit into the mold to be happy. We can embrace our individuality just like the characters of Mean Girls. And that's why it holds such a special place in my heart. So, whether you're a plastic, a mathlete, or somewhere in between, Mean Girls the Musical has something for everyone. Wow, what a ride. From the halls of North Shore High to the dazzling lights of Broadway, we've explored the vibrant world of Mean Girls the Musical. We dove into the catchy tunes, unforgettable characters, and the cultural impact that keeps Mean Girls as relevant as ever. Whether it's the hilarious A Cautionary Tale, the revealing Where Do You Belong, the sharp and clever Apex Predator, or the scheming anthem Revenge Party, the musical has brought life to an already beloved story. And let's not forget my absolute favorite, I'd Rather Be Me, which reminds us all to embrace our individuality. As we wrap up this episode, let's take a moment to appreciate how Mean Girls has impacted us all. It's more than just a story about high school drama. It's a tale of finding your true self among the chaos. For me, it has been a constant source of entertainment and inspiration, reminding me to stay true to who I am. I hope this episode was as fetch for you as it was for me. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What are your favorite songs and characters from the musical or the movie? Just drop me a line with your feedback or suggest topics for future episodes. And come back next week for more fun with my favorite subject, all things music. I want to thank you for joining me on this musical journey, and remember, always be yourself because everybody else is already taken. Peace out, everybody. This has been the Music in Me podcast. Subscribe now so you don't miss a beat.
This has been